Steve, it's been quite a day just trying to piece together all of these different clues. They were forced to remove his arm all the way up to just below his shoulder. But take a look at this jacuzzi that apparently dropped out of the sky. I've seen a lot of neighbors still outside their apartments and homes, wandering around, talking to each other, trying to piece together this story. Yeah, Steve, for the past 2 hours, hundreds of Gilbert neighbors and avid BMX riders have been inside these council chambers going head to head on all of these plans for the potential new BMX headquarters. Many employees here at this shopping center say they either saw the whole thing or the aftermath. Such a fun time hanging out with those guys. Say armored guards were actually in the process of putting money into that ATM when they were approached by two armed men demanding cash. One of those guards did shoot a suspect, but a second one took off down the street and hasn't been seen since.
3 pops, boom, boom, boom.
That was the sound of an armored guard firing as two men tried to overpower their truck and rob this ATM.
I saw the guy on the floor, cops around him.
One man down, but a second still on the loose.
I stuck my head out the door right here just to see what was going on, and at that exact moment, a police officer just almost collided with me.
Matt Shaner says his surveillance cameras caught this image of the man running with his weapon.
Canine units and putting on their SWAT gear.
This guy's running with an AK-47. It's like, you know, you don't see that every day.
Eric Campbell was taking a shortcut home when he came face to face with the gunman.
He was only like 10 feet away from me.
And that's when the suspect dropped the assault rifle and took off.
He kind of came at me like he needed to ride out of here or something. He was frantic. And then he turned the corner, ran up to this car, tried the car doors, couldn't get in, so he threw his gun down and went down this alleyway.
Police immediately placed surrounding neighborhoods on lockdown. The armored guard who fired the deadly shot was questioned by investigators, while the second guard, as policy demands, stayed with the truck. And that armored guard is actually still in the truck as we speak. He hasn't left since this happened over 7 hours ago. We'd been riding with Captain Preston for over an hour up and down I-10 with little to report, but it's when we finally pulled over to the shoulder and got out that the dust suddenly picked up, and our officer was forced to make a split-second decision that almost turned deadly. Take a look.
Rolling the dice. The odds are going to be against you on a road like I-10. It's just too much volume.
Kind of see something happening now.
Yeah, we sure are.
It appeared to come out of nowhere.
Mix up quick.
Almost instantly, a wall of dust pops up in the distance.
Yeah.
Knowing the dangers a storm like this can bring, Captain Preston breaks away from our interview and grabs his yellow vest from the patrol vehicle.
600.
Cars whizzing by at 75 miles an hour. Captain Preston steps onto I-10 with nothing but his yellow vest to stop them.
600, your radio was covered.
I need people at 214 to stop right now. We've got to stop traffic. You stop!
Sorry, you're partially covered by wind.
At his signal, most drivers slowed before entering the blinding dust.
It's at 214.
But one driver didn't.
What's wrong with you?
The little blue Corvette nearly hits the officer.
We had across really bad at 214 just a second ago. I was able to stop eastbound despite almost getting run over. I need someone to come down here.
And when the dust settles, he makes the dangerous walk back to the other side. He risked his life to save others and has this message for Arizona drivers.
The one sure answer, look down the road and watch for it. And when you see it, don't take a chance.
Guys, that near miss was certainly a shock for us, and it's absolutely a reminder to drivers who are suddenly put in this situation to slow down, watch the signals, and be aware of your surroundings.
Pete, have a great weekend.
New York transplant Al Viscusi
I'll just split it and skin it.
of Al's Meat Market in Sun City
We're looking at 2631, Pete.
is happy to be working again.
It's just been a long, hard road.
Al had a rough summer after a freak accident crashed into his store.
I was standing right here when it all happened. I was putting chicken in the case, and the lady drove right through the front of the store.
It was April 29th when an elderly woman lost control and slammed into the deli.
Boom, crash, bang. The noise just wouldn't stop.
His wife Trudy heard it over the phone.
Heard a few cuss words. You know, he's like, my God, a lady just drove through the front of the store.
The car missed Al, but his quick dive out of the way injured his shoulder.
I thought there was a bomb going off, truthfully. And when I hit the ground, that's when I tore the rotator cuff.
And his bicep was torn. And that was the part that really shook me up, too. And I was like, oh, my God, that's his cutting arm, and what are we going to do?
The couple was forced to close their family business for 3 months.
It hurts. It definitely hurts.
The Viscusis estimate their losses close to $100,000.
That's it.
We didn't have any money to pay the bills, and the bills just kept coming in and coming in and coming in.
But now, thanks to loyal customers,
Business is booming.
they're back in business, digging out of debt and moving forward with no plans of slowing down.
Today was probably our best day since we reopened.
In Sun City, Lauren Vargas, ABC 15 News. Katie, there have been at least 9 goats reported stolen in this one neighborhood. And unfortunately, authorities tell us cases like these are rarely resolved.
That's Maisie. And then you have Miss Brown.
It's another day at the Lehman's Goat Farm in Chandler.
Yeah, here's your baby.
But today, something is different.
They still need their mommy, which is back there, making all the fuss because she misses her babies.
2 baby goats stolen, only their little brother left behind.
They need to be fed at least 3 to 4 times a day. They only weighed 10 pounds.
The Lehmans say there's no way this was an animal attack.
There would have been signs of them, and there would have been blood.
Neighbors say this isn't the first time goats have been taken.
Every day you drive up and you wonder if there's going to be another one gone.
Chris Oldenburg says 4 of her goats were stolen in September.
I cried. Like I said, you raise these from little babies. They're part of your family, and I felt really violated.
6 months ago, 3 more of the Lehman's goats also disappeared.
Hopefully somebody will see something and say something and bring them back.
This farmer says the thieves can return his animals, no questions asked.
But if you don't bring them back and I catch you, Old West has its own justice.
The Lehmans and their neighbors say they file a report every time a goat turns up missing, but so far have never recovered their animals. What's really sad is the babies taken this time were actually raised by the family's 6-year-old twins, and seeing them at the farm today, it was obvious that those little kids were heartbroken.
Yeah, you feel like saying to the goat thieves, Lauren, pick on someone your own size.
Exactly. It's terrible.
Man. All right, keep us updated. Thanks, Lauren.